Welcome in, readers. I am Ook, and this is the Chill Pill. We're up to like 8, 9. I don't know which episode this is. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm here and you're here, and so is my guest today, Larva 12. Hey, Larva.
Hi, Ook. How are you?
Doing good. I was afraid for a second there that you had disappeared in the like 3 seconds since we opened our mouths last. I think my favorite part of this whole experience of doing these videos has been the 10 minutes that I'm on the call beforehand, just kind of chatting with people. It's
Mhm.
fun because we're much more casual. It's like being in the booth again.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, you said you've watched a couple or at least one episode, so you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. We're going to
Mhm.
talk. We're going to chat, and then we're going to talk about last month's silver bracket.
Okay.
So, gosh.
Or should I say, oh, okay?
Oh dear, please don't. So I got plenty of that when I first started my channel. I also learned that that is Dutch for also, and it's pronounced ok. But anyway, so gosh, with everybody, I usually talk about what got you into the game, and I know there's another topic you'd much rather be talking about. So let's do that first instead. We'll talk about what got you into the
I'm
game.
I'm I'm okay with both. I'm
I
okay with
know,
both. That's fine.
I know you are. So let's talk about the game. Are you somebody who had it when you were very small and got into it that way, or is it something that you picked up as an adult?
I picked it up very small. I don't remember playing my first game of Dr. Mario. I do remember we got an NES when I was about 5 or 6, and we had Mario 1, Mario 3, Duck Hunt,
Right.
and Dr. Mario, and a couple other ones. And the primary person I played with is my older brother. So
Okay.
he's 3 years older. And Dr. Mario was the only game I could beat him at. So I always wanted to play Dr. Mario. It always made sense to me. I've learned a lot since joining the community. Um, but some of the like very, very basics that some people take a little bit to get, that I got as a child. So I always wanted to play. I picked up Dr. Mario 64 when we had an N64. That is my favorite version, N64 best version. I love the story mode, and my friends stopped wanting to play with me because it's not that they couldn't win. I would slaughter them every time. It just complete demolish. And they're like, no, I don't want this. And then they'd make me play games where I had to jump, and I can't do any jump mechanics. So I embarrass them, they embarrass me. It's all good.
Yeah, it sounds like my dad always told the story. He was a soccer player in high school, and that he and his team got asked to play basketball with another school's like basketball team, and then they invited them to play soccer with them, and it was a whole thing. So yeah, I understand how that
Mm-hmm.
works. And yeah, it sounds like you were another neighborhood good. uh, it
Oh,
seems to
yeah.
be all of us at some point or another. Yeah, there's so
Mm-hmm.
much in that to unpack. First off, that I remember you and Pac playing uh, Dr. Mario 64 on the beanbag couch in Columbus this year, and you guys seem to be having the freaking time of your lives.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, now I know why. More of
Yeah, it's some of it is because we're on opposite coasts. A lot of the times that we get together, not all of them, but a lot of them are at these expos and conventions.
right.
So, um, so we have our time together there as well. And this is what brought us together. This is the biggest link. There are other links. We both love baseball, and other things like that. But Dr. Mario is really what brought us together. So that's always going to be very special. We're always going to have a great time, even if he's going to beat me 9 times out of 10.
Well, I mean, Savage was sitting over there going, "Keep him playing, keep him playing. We need him on 64 mode and not on NES mode." I think he failed because he did, he did win that side of the bracket, but I didn't realize that 64 was your favorite version, so that's really cool.
Hmm.
Oh, speaking of favorite, my
Yeah,
little
a
favorite
lot of
kitty
it.
in my lap now. Anyway, go on.
I was gonna say, yeah, 64 is my favorite mainly because of that story mode. It's that versus that you get to play against the AI, but it gets progressively harder throughout. So like you start playing and you can choose Dr. Mario or Wario. Um, I can give you a second to guess who I choose every single time. Hint: the answer is Wario. Um, so I play Dr. Mario the very first one. It's always super easy, and you go all the way through to playing Rudy, and then for me it would be Metal Mario. So I always liked doing that all the time, and seeing if I could get faster, seeing how much I could beat everybody by. Um, so there is that kind of single player versus training that I really like from Dr. Mario 64.
And you mentioned playing so much in your childhood. Uh, did you feel like you had to unlearn some of what you have learned, in the words of Yoda, whenever you joined in with the speed scene, or do you think it was just like layering on top of what you already had?
Um, I think it was a little bit of both. There was some that I had to be like, oh, okay, I had to unlearn about drop time. Um, because I wasn't timing myself or things like that. So a lot of that, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I can take this super long drop. And now I'm like, oh no, that's like 3 seconds. Let's stay away from that. Um, and I'm there were parts that I'm still unlearning. I have a big aversion to a lot of garbage in speed game.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm really trying to be like, hey, no, you can use this for something else and not just clear it out. You can
Yeah.
maybe drop it and clear something else. Um, so that's been a very long process of tinkering and trying to find what works best for me in where I can make sure that I implement it very fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're all in that tinkering game. Whether
Hmm.
it's trying to figure out how to prevent drop time or how to use garbage better. I remember I
Hmm.
spent a long time after watching Dimwit play trying to figure out how he could see the next row below and plan for that so that his horizontals would, he'd clear a horizontal and then everything that would drop down would be perfect. And
Hmm.
I mean, every bit of that you just about have to learn, except for the basic four down. Here you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always interesting to see what it is people have had to work on versus what has kind of come more naturally.
Hmm. Yeah, it's that, and also I'm still very bad at it, but tucking.
Mm,
I'm very bad at the actual timing for tucks if you press down. That's
right.
why, like, I usually if I'm trying to tuck, I let up a little bit earlier because I still don't have that sweet spot.
Hmm.
Um, so that slows some things up, and every once in a while, I just completely deef it up, and I'm just like, see, this is why I don't tuck.
Well, as the self-proclaimed tuck master of the DRMC, I will tell you that the thing that really get you is the fact that it changes based on where you are in the level. Because it's
Hmm.
the amount of time is slightly different based on the speed. And I love my tucks. I go for them probably far too often. But yeah, later on when you've been 100 pills in or 60 pills in or whatever, it does make a difference. The amount of time you've got to make that is just a little bit shorter, and yeah, it can really wreck your game. That's probably one of my big
Hmm.
problems. All right, so you are of course an avid versus as well as speed player, partially just from being on staff for versus and going to as many tournaments as you have. Uh, which do you prefer, first off?
I
Okay.
I honestly don't know. It's to me they're two very different mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it it's not quite apples and oranges to me, but it's like a small apple and a tangerine.
Yeah.
Um I really like the in-person verses, and a lot of that it's less of the game itself and more I get to be around people who like this game.
Yeah. That's always helpful.
And that's not something that I've been used to until the last, 4 or so years. I was always like, "Oh, Dr. Mario, that's like Tetris, right?" And me slamming my head on a desk. Um, and now it's like, "Oh yeah, Dr. Mario's my primary game. That I love that game. I play it all the time." And that's something that just it fills my heart so much. And I love that feeling. I also love watching. I'm very much a game watcher. I like watching everybody play Speed. I like figuring out how people work. Um, because things that would work for you or Betty might not work for somebody who plays more like Packy does.
Right.
Um, and that's just great. And that's something that I tell him. Um, when he's playing is just play your game. Don't try to play anybody else's game. Don't try to be he's him, thumb glued to the down button.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't have to make, Frank Adelito level combos and be very, five head about it. Just be fast. And that's fine. So I really like um that aspect of it and watching and sometimes on purpose, sometimes accidentally incorporating those types of plays into my own play.
I mean, it sounds a whole lot like you like versus better than speed, but that's okay. You know, you can you can say what you like.
Um,
I know, I'm just teasing. There's definitely
some of it because
that
we don't
social
have we
aspect.
don't have in person speed, so that it's a lot of it is the in person.
Yeah, I get that.
You
Makes
know,
sense. Um, I had a question kind of lined up, and oh no, it was more of a comment. You talked about people loving the game. I went to a chiropractor yesterday, and he was asking about hobbies, and I was like, guitar and gaming, and he's like, oh, what games do you play? I was like, do you really care? Why is it relevant? You know, you just immediately close up. Turns out he's an old WoW player, and he was just kind of making sure I wasn't somebody who sits for 5, 6 hours at a time playing WoW. I did not bring up that I spend 3 to 4 hours a night playing Twitch or on Twitch a few times a week. Yeah, it was actually relevant for my care, but yeah, that whole being able to just be open. It does feel like everybody's in a closet sometimes, not just me. That my studio's a closet. Uh, and I did my kid on Saturday went to an anime convention, and I picked up a friend of hers, and we ended up talking about gaming, and she's like, yeah,
Mhm.
I do. I'm not one of those my dad can beat up your dad people, but I will say that my dad can beat your dad in Tetris for just about everybody. And I was like, oh really? Oh, really? Are you sure you want to go there? I'm not a big Tetris guy, but I can hold my own. Yeah, it turns out he's a previous like in-person tournament person. I got the name, but it wasn't anybody I recognized.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so you are a keyboard player, correct?
I have been a keyboard player.
Oh,
I've
okay.
recently made the switch back to controller, and a lot of that is because we have to use controllers for verses.
Right.
So switching between keyboard and controller has not worked out the best for me. So, and I like keyboard, and I loved what Adelita was saying about it, even though
Hmm.
when I play keyboard, I actually play differently. Um, I don't use the arrow keys. I use WASD because I cannot switch which hand does
And
which
that makes
motion
sense.
in my head. I can't. It just my brain doesn't work that way. So it is left hand is always D-pad, right hand is always A and B.
Well, you did take away one of my
Even
questions
though I
because that was going to be my
yeah,
question
even though I am
is how about switching?
right-handed.
Yeah.
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 I don't it might be well, I think Savage does with the arrow keys, but other left-handers such as yourself, I don't know. That might be potentially a way to go is to have your dominant hand on the D-pad in essence with a keyboard. I
Oh,
don't know, uh, but that may be a way to do it. I've really liked playing keyboard, and if I could find a way to play versus on keyboard in in-person tournaments without it looking real weird and us not accepting that
I
controller,
was about to
I would
say,
do that.
yeah, you know, Chris isn't going
But we
for
don't.
that. Not yet.
Oh no. Oh, because I asked him and he said no.
Yeah, that doesn't
Not that
surprise
I
me at
found
all.
a setup, but it was a well, if I do, he's like, no.
Yeah, I mean,
Not necessarily like that. He had more words and was nicer, but the sentiment was no,
no. Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you just have to work with what we've got, and it's
Exactly.
I still think keyboard will end up being a meta eventually. Like we're gonna get,
Hmm.
and I'm so glad to see so many new faces in the tournament this month. It's we usually get a January spike. I'm hoping we'll see some of these folks continue on, but yeah, it's. I think we're gonna get to a point, especially if the kids start playing and they realize what an advantage you can pick up playing keyboard, especially the ones who didn't grow up playing with it on controller. I think we're going to run into a meta of that. I don't think it's going to be
Hmm.
quite as
Yeah.
dominant as like rolling or hyper
Yeah.
tapping, but it's going to give a distinct advantage in the future, I think.
Hmm.
So, what goals do you have this year when it comes to versus or speed? What you got anything in particular? You're just like 2025 is going to be the year I do blank.
Um, I would like to get a 17 qual at least 2 or 3 times this year.
Nice.
That's really the goal. Is just try to get closer and closer and closer to that 17 average
Yeah,
for a
aren't we all?
qualifier.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat at this point. I'm just like, can I please see 17 again? I miss it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think we've been approaching for a while, and I think we're finally at the point where 17 is just going to be required for main bracket. It's
Hmm.
it came close to happening again this month, and I don't see us getting out of 2025 without at least 3 or 4 tournaments where you've got to have 17 just to get in the top 16. So that's good.
Yeah.
What about in tournament? Gonna make any bold
Um,
predictions? Come on.
no, no. I can't I know we're still finalizing our schedule.
Right.
It's a little harder for me right now to make tournaments because I recently made a career switch and now I'm working in a public school. So, um I have to work around that schedule. Um plus other things that are happening this year that are a little bit more important than
Go
an
go
in-person
ahead.
tournament.
Get
But
in. I was gonna bring it up
but
next, so go ahead.
we may have an impromptu tournament, impromptu versus tournament in October.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say at your reception. Uh,
That's what I mean.
Oh, I thought you guys were getting married in June. Okay, so that's
Nope,
my
in
mistake.
October.
October. Ooh, so
In October.
you heard it here first. Not here. I mean, obviously you've heard it other places if you're paying attention. But if you are in a chase down with Packy for points for the end of your tournament, October is the one time to go ahead and try to get those in. Uh,
We're not going to be clashing with Gold Bracket.
of course
Savage
you're
has already
not.
asked.
And Savage would be the one to ask. That does make good sense.
We did not plan it that way. But Savage asked, and I said this. I said the exact date that we're getting married, and she's like, "Okay, good. You're not gonna
Yeah.
um, you're not gonna clash with because she was like, because I will move it if I have to.
Yeah. Let's be real
But no,
though.
we don't have to. We don't have to move it.
Let's be real though. Savage is such a competitive gamer that she might, if she finds herself in that situation, move it again just to make sure that it clashes with your wedding, so that she can get some extra points. Uh,
well, well, then she'll have to hear something from Bidwell because he's a part of the wedding as well. So I
yeah,
don't think she's gonna.
I doubt she would.
No, 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 no. Savage is much too kind to do that. I know she's
I
very
wouldn't go that
competitive,
far.
but
Yeah.
she's competitive.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
no.
she's very kind. Um, and this community loves everybody so much, and that's something that I really like is the DRMC community, and we are all, for the most part, in each other's corners. We all have each other's backs.
Yeah.
We want everybody to do the best every single month, whether or not it is, you know, if that bumps us down a couple of slots, that's okay. You're doing your best.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is I have to do better the next time. Um,
Right.
so I really like that. I really like, everything about the community, and I mean, I am biased because, I found my person in this community.
Right.
So, um, so I'm always going to be really biased toward everything with the community and, you know, and just thinking that it's great. I mean, I think everybody thinks it's great, but I think it's super great.
Yeah. It's for me. It's interesting now that you mention it. I hadn't even thought of it that way, but first few months I was in the tournament, I would lose and then I would go mope by myself for a while, and now it's like, okay, I lost because I faced off somebody who either was clearly better than I am, which is most of the ones that I face, or somebody who really had a good round and maybe I didn't have a great round, but that means that they get a good chance, and let's see what they're able to do. And yeah,
Hmm.
I'm invested in all the storylines that we have. So I hope other people in the community are getting that and are able to get to that point themselves if they're not already there.
Hmm.
And there goes the other thing. I had like one more thing I was going to say, and then we were just going to ride right on into it. But I'm sure it will come to me. Uh, so let's talk silver bracket, I guess.
Okay.
First off, congratulations.
Thank you.
I sent it to you from one silver runner up to another. It's it's
Hmm.
because I Betty beat me in the first like official silver bracket in the finals, and it was again, it's one of those moments where you're like, yeah, you're great, and I'm glad you did this. Hate you beat me, but by golly, I'm glad you won.
Exactly. Yeah.
So talking with Ibar last week, I know we were discussing how he really was, he had his eyes set on you because he knew this is territory you have been through and have won, and you've taken it over him, and
Hmm.
he just I think of that as a compliment You know, when somebody looks at a
Hmm.
board and goes, "That's the person. That's the one I have to take down. That's the one that if I get
Hmm.
past them, I have. It doesn't matter what else I do." I think that's a big compliment.
Hmm.
So um,
Yeah.
it was it was a lot of fun talking to him about it. And now I get to see what you went through because I was out of town,
Hmm.
so I missed a big chunk of it. So let's go ahead. Oh wow, I had it pretty much lined up. 2 minutes on. Nope, this is not. This is not where I wanted to be in the video. So, unfortunately, I am on. Excuse me, on an actual like a physical video I had to get from Dave. This is not on YouTube yet, so it will be a little bit weirder. I'm not able to move it back and forth the way I wanted to. Can I
I really like
please?
doing that slide, the Roberito slide.
Yeah. Do you know if they came in a little late on your cuz yeah, that is what's happening. Or did you just have a timer going ahead of time?
Oh, when I practice, I have a timer.
Okay, that's what's going on. So that's what confused me when I came on. I was like, why are we coming in at 2 minutes into your match? So, okay, let's see. Will it let me go side to side? It will not. Can I just hold the
Yeah.
fast forward?
Especially since Donatello has zero.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm learning so much about Media Player. So, first round you've got Donatello. He's definitely somebody who has been working his way up. Donnie got his first crowns this year. He actually got his first wins this year. You look at the bracket, and what's going through your mind when you've got? Let's see, I've got last month's bracket pulled up right now. You're going to face either Donnie or Lilac, and then the winner of
mhm.
Dave and Slay, and then at the bottom you've got JB Archer, Sarge, and Ibar. So, what's going through your mind? Are you yeah? At what point do you really start getting nervous? Do you start thinking, okay, look, we got this. Let's make it happen.
um,
Where's your
the only
head?
time I would have been nervous is if I had to face off against JB because he has my number. I don't
That
know
is
how,
true.
but in versus and speed, JB has my number every single time. So I'm like, I do not want to face him at all. Anybody else, I will take. If that means I have to face Ibar, I will take that because it means I don't have to face JB.
Speaking of JB, looking at the bracket, because again I didn't get to see it live, and by the time I got home, it seemed like it was almost over. I just realized why. Almost every match, JB's the exception, went to didn't go to a decider. He had the only one that went to a decider. So that is crazy.
Mhm.
But looking at JB's name on the screen reminds me. The other question I had is, how do you feel about commentary and how it has helped your gameplay? That's what I was going to ask you earlier.
Um, the very, very first time I did commentary, I did it with Savage,
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing an experiment where one of us would look at one
Mm-hmm.
side of the screen. One of us would look at one person only. And the person I was assigned was Bidwell, and I didn't know him that well, didn't notice his style all that well, except I knew he was very big into combos at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the month he switched. He
Oh,
switched up his
yeah.
gameplay that month. And so I'm talking about how he's known for combos, known for combos, known for combos, and he's not taking any combos. And I'm just like, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing right now. So it's all of the nerves of commentating for the first time,
Right.
plus, oh, this person isn't playing the way I think they should, but they're the only person that I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
because that's how we were doing at that time. But I didn't commentate again for quite a while. I want to say almost a year. And um, then I just picked it back up again. I decided I wanted to do it again, and it's because I watch so many other people. I think that's where I get some of my commentary because I will watch somebody and say, "Oh, okay, I think this is what they're going to do," and then see how it pans out. So, and that's different for each person. Like they're, you know, again, like Hecky plays a different way than, say, like Adelito and Frank, who are a little bit more combo and they will stack on each other, whereas Packy doesn't really do that. Um, so some of those combos I can tell, and some of those things that we used to say, oh, this might have been a misdrop. If I've been watching that person for a while, I know that's not a misdrop. That's on purpose, and they're gonna do an underclear and drop everything down.
Right.
So I really feel like watching people and seeing how they move around in practice, what they do in practice, things like that, has helped my commentary, um, because I can kind of see what they're doing. I can see what they're thinking because I've seen them do that before.
Right. All right. Well, I just wanted to get that one out because, like I said, I had been thinking it and then it kind of flew out of my brain before we got
Mhm.
started. All right, I've got it queued up to your first pill in your first level. And the first question that's popped into my head is, what are you listening to? Because you are definitely
Oh,
bopping to something.
I'm listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers
Oh, there you
all
go.
day, every day,
Nothing wrong with that.
all day, every day.
All right.
So, and anytime I'm singing, it's them. I will sing while I play.
Yeah.
I usually have everything muted because I don't want anything DMCA'd, but it is Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're my favorite band. They're the ones that get me hype.
Nice. Like other side or like, what are we
Um,
going for? See, now I got to know.
uh, I mean, it's. Let me bring up the playlist that I have on
Because
Spotify.
if I needed a
I have
hype,
I have, um, I mean, they have a mix of things. I tend very much toward their more upbeat, their more hype songs.
right?
Um, so the playlist that I have has things from a bunch of different albums. We have things from Stadium Arcadium. We have one from One Hot Minute. Um, we even have some from before. Uh, let's see. I think that second album. I think that's and Californication. And by the way, like there's a
Good songs.
whole bunch. Um, but I want everything upbeat. I
Right.
The ballads are good. They're not my ballads in general are not my style. I I really like very upbeat music. I like how Flea plays the bass. That he's my favorite bass player. Um, so intricate bass and not quite simple, but understated guitar is much more how I float, and that for me is the Chili Peppers is more complicated bass, understated guitar.
Nice. Nice. All right. I think we've avoided talking about the tournament as much as we can. Okay, so you've got a yellow blue in this situation, and
Mm-hmm.
at first glance, I'm thinking 4-5 because it's just the most obvious
Mm-hmm.
play. But I
Yes.
noticed something that it would not have occurred to me in real time. The middle blues are all paired.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that a
Yes.
yellow blue is up early, part of me wants to tuck that into 5-6, put the yellow on top, start working on that paired blues, and then hope maybe I can get the ones
Mm-hmm.
above it.
Potentially. I
Granted,
am probably just gonna flip it and push down.
yeah,
Um,
it's 4, and you don't really. There's not enough time and enough pills to think through something that's going to be that crazy. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah. Well, and especially because the two blues are also paired in four.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as adamant about trying to take the horizontal blues,
Right.
especially because that involves I mean they're not super terrible tucks, but for me, I
Yeah.
definitely think that I'm gonna just flip it and push down. Um, that first like second that everything populates, you, I don't know if I move my head, but I definitely move my eyes, and I
Mm-hmm.
try to take in as much of the board as I can. Um, and I want to try to leave some room. We have that kind of gap in column 6 between the two yellows. So if there's something I really can't use, I can toss that in there and then move it to the side and have it
Mm-hmm.
in 7 and 8 or 5 if I just can't use it.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm going to do.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
Unless for
figure.
some reason I say, like, oh yeah, let me go into 2 3.
Oh
That'd be
yeah,
weird.
because
But
that would be a weird tuck. You're
that's a
right.
possibility. That's a
Let's
possibility.
see what happens. Let's see. Okay, so it's a double red up next. I was just checking to see if that would affect anything. Now you're making the obvious play here, uh,
Yes.
but that double red. Do you go left and start having access, or do you go right, clear out the easy double, but then are faced with no real use for blue red after a minute?
Um, Probably left because I can see that there's that blue blue and I really don't
Mm-hmm.
like that.
I agree.
Um, but again, that to me that's kind of a toss up. Thinking about it now, I'd probably go left. If you'd asked me 20 minutes ago, I might have said right.
Yeah, no, you went left. And then I love this double blue on the
Okay.
right. Yeah, now we're stacking the red blue. Everything I I love when things start getting obvious. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Red yellow on top. I can't I'm judging by your face. I'm guessing you didn't
Yeah.
intend. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. I don't know what I was doing, but it was also I was playing this on controller
Mhm.
and somebody said something. Oh, it was after one of the matches. I actually like held up the controller
Yeah.
next to my face.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I know JDF was like, "Oh, did she make the switch back to controller?" So some of it is growing pains with that. So I think I wanted to put it in. Well, I don't know where I wanted to put that.
I mean, two
Placing it that way, I don't know what I wanted to do with that.
my
I'm
guess
thinking 2 3, but I'm not sure.
my guess is you were trying to get it tucked over into 6 and laid down and just didn't have it over far enough. That
Potentially,
seems
yes.
that seems you saying that's kind of your thought process is you've got this tower in 6, but you can start dumping stuff down. That makes me think that's probably the direction you were headed. Interesting option with this double yellow is putting it into
Mm-hmm.
6 7, releasing the that triple onto the blues, and then not really having much to do with it after. But if you get you know another yellow and then maybe a double yellow, you could underclear. It would be a lot of drop time, but interesting. I don't think it's
Yeah.
the right move. I just think it's an interesting move. And I always, you know
Yeah.
me, I always love interesting moves.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, the extra flip. You are playing on controller, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do actually get that horizontal. And I think, yeah, you're making the right choices here because getting just this stuff out of the way. And now the stack, I think you're thinking a horizontal on the 1 2s. You're kind of
Yeah.
making it where it's going to happen. I see this stack for the underclear on the double
Well,
yellow,
the
the double
the
reds.
red blue, yeah, I can tell you the red blue that is on too. That was a misdrop.
Mm-hmm.
So then it probably became, well, let me see if I can take this in a horizontal.
Right.
Um, because a lot of my mindset is, how do we fix?
Yeah.
That's always been, in essence, my primary question to myself, even before I joined DrMC. Anything with Versus was, how do we fix?
Yeah.
We have garbage. How do we fix? So, uh,
Unfortunately, you're in a
it looks. I
situation.
really think that I'm waiting it for that for a red yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like waiting all that long. So if it takes too long to show up, I I might just demolish it and then wait again. But I can't remember what happens. I don't know what happens in my games. I don't
Yeah.
remember them. Um, I have goldfish memory, so um, yeah. So that's also some of it is um, it's not necessarily ooh shiny. It's a lot of I don't remember.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, you've got like four good places to put a red yellow right here. Let's see if you ever get one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at this point, you're just trying to be efficient with your yellows as well because there's
Mm-hmm.
just so much on the board. I do like
Yeah.
taking those blues the way you had to really work things out, and I love sharing. Well, I call it sharing the drop time because you just went ahead and
Mm-hmm.
dropped onto 7. Oh, there's a double yellow. It would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And now
goodness.
I wanna take that red horizontally. Yep.
Yep. Now again, you're still waiting on this red yellow. It still hasn't shown up.
And now I'm going all in on that red yellow.
Yep. Ah, manufactured. There it is. Oh no. There's finally. I don't know how long it took, but you finally got that red yellow. And there's the blue that you needed. Whew.
Yeah,
That's
you can see my shake. The head shake is nope. I when I play, I do tend to wear what I'm thinking on my face.
yeah.
Um, so it's very easy to tell if something was a misdrop or I didn't like the way that level went or anything like that. You can tell on my face, even if we can only see half of it.
Yeah. Um, and you know it says a lot to your mental game that you were able to come back from this because that's one of those fours you get out of and go, oh my gosh, what did I just do? So,
Hmm.
but you know what you did is you started off the next level with the right first pill. It's a double yellow coming down. I'm assuming you're going to tuck that into 6, 7, get that horizontal. Although
Probably.
looking at it now, that's gonna leave you so much blue. I mean, that's the board right
It's
now.
all that blue in 6, 7, and 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I could see myself putting it there, putting it on one, or putting it on top of 7.
yeah. I think one in hindsight, one looks like the best choice.
Hmm.
But I'm 95 times out of 100. I'm going 6, 7. It's a double. I'm taking
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
One of the
I can
mantras.
reduce the amount of pills. Yeah. I can reduce the amount of pills needed to clear those. So if I were to bet, I'm betting that I'm getting that horizontal.
One of the mantras I tried to live by in my early game was never waste a double. It is no longer a mantra I use, but that's one where I would definitely be like, oh, you put it on over on
Oh, I
one.
did.
And this red blue is an interesting opportunity because if you lay it vertically on 6, you can start this red horizontal, but it's a very counterintuitive play because I know you're waiting on a red yellow here to get the
Yeah.
clear in 1 and 4, but I say counterintuitive. You found it in a way.
There's that horizontal.
Yep. And
I
you
knew
are
I would get it eventually.
just so you're aware, you are going to be a touch behind me on the screen just because of the way
Okay.
Discord works. So if I say something and you're like, "What are you talking about?" It's just because it hasn't happened yet on your screen. It is coming, I promise. All right. Then you get the horizontal, or you get that double and get the blues worked out. And yeah, at this point, garbage that isn't blue just doesn't matter because there's so much blue
Mm-hmm.
going on this board.
Yeah.
So like at one point I was like, well, this red garbage, you could have cleared it out. And I'm like, no, it doesn't really matter because it's not blue garbage. Therefore, it's not important.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, two more reds. And there's one. I'm going into commentator mode already. There's two. Oh, wow. So double yellow at the start of this six. All the yellows are scattered around about in such a weird way. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, I see an interesting move.
Mm-hmm.
Setting it down in six.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking,
Yes.
yep. I'm not sure I go
That
for it.
draws me so much because it is one of those, if I get a double blue, I will take that horizontal.
Yeah, I mean, if the next pill is a double blue, I definitely put it there. If not,
Mm-hmm.
man, it's tough.
Yeah.
Let's see
Mm-hmm.
if you do it. You do it, and I tell you, putting the next one on eight, especially because it's looking like a blitz. I'm hoping you put this one on one, just based on where you're looking right now. But I would put it on eight and just be ready for that double blue and dropping it down. And oh, it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get it on to. Yeah, and now you know a double blue's coming because you've gotten like four of them in a row. So, real
There
nice.
we go.
Makes you feel good. But man, it really left you with no blues. Like literally no blues going on. But hey, you get your horizontals. This is overall a tough board. This is not an easy six.
Yeah. And at this point, we just have the one blue left.
Yep.
So, and then I misflip that one.
Yeah, but again, I mean
And then I say,
it's
"Welp,
it's blue garbage. Who
okay,
cares?
just do it." Yeah.
I think you were looking for a horizontal on the reds in one and two. And
Yeah. Now I'm trying to get that
yeah,
ready.
there you are. And I like not putting that red yellow over on the left. It just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that stacked up high red. I mean, it looks for all the world like it's about to be drop time. But you do find a way
That's why
around it.
I'm avoiding it.
Yeah. Oh, and now,
um,
ugh, gross.
Here we go.
All right, behind the eight ball on the last level. At this point, do you know, or do you suspect that you're behind, or
Yes.
okay, or
I believe I know I'm behind, and I'm just like, well, just go as fast as you can.
do you keep an eye on your opponent's board, or I'm assuming you've got the
No.
tournament up.
I have it up, but am I watching it? No.
Well, you said you.
I can't do that. It's too it,
Oh, I
I
get
can't,
it.
my brain just can't handle that.
You just said you knew you were behind, so I was kind of curious if you actually did have
Oh, like,
firsthand knowledge.
I'll check in at the end of the
Okay,
level.
gotcha.
Um and kind of see, okay, what's going on, and um but I do have the stream up.
Mm-hmm.
So not that I'm like watching it, but there is the like peripheral, everything like that. So sometimes I can tell that somebody's going a lot faster than I am. Sometimes I can assume, like, if I'm facing out Alito, I'm just gonna assume that he's going a lot faster than I am.
Right, right. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Hmm.
Not as many T-shirts as you've got, my dear, but that was a long stretch you had, I will say.
Hmm.
And wow, this is just a really nice setup, and pulled it
Hmm.
out. And yeah, that look on your face, that
Sometimes I don't, yeah.
ooh,
Sometimes I don't realize it's kind of a Dave Smith thing where sometimes I don't realize I'm setting it up and then I'll see it and I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
sure, we'll take that.
yeah. And at that point, you did hold your controller up. Speaking of Flindo, he is
Yeah.
also making the transition back to or like full CRT. He's been on a controller on
Hmm.
his emulator, but he is going. He got a CRT now, and he's been working with that lately. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he's doing. And speak of Dave Smith, and there he is.
um, I will most likely also be making the switch to CRT this summer.
Gotcha.
Um, because that's what I'm. Wedding's not until October, but I'm moving out after the school year
That's
because
probably what I
that
was
makes the
thinking.
most sense.
That's probably what I
Um,
heard was you were moving in June, and my brain
so
thought wedding in June. Okay.
not quite,
Yep.
but I will be using my own controller because I don't know how Packy uses the controllers he does. They're terrible. They're
Oh,
really awful.
you should.
I did a qualifier on his setup once, and I don't think I got into 15.
You
So
know,
I don't know how he plays so well with such janky controllers.
for the sake of the rest of the community, I say this in love. You should go ahead, get your mini screwdrivers, and some rubbing alcohol and some fresh pads, and just go ahead and fix them for him. See what happens.
Oh, I gave him new controllers, and he tried, and he was like, "Eh."
Yeah, yeah. The first time I tore into mine, it was the first time in I think almost 30 years that they'd been taken apart. There was like black gunk running down the sides. It was a mess, but
Hmm.
it made all the difference. It really did. But hey, you know what? It's what you're used to as much as anything else.
Yeah, I think that's what it is for him. Is that he's so used to it
Mm-hmm.
that he's figured out how to play on that,
Yeah.
and he a regular controller is just not gonna work. Whereas I'm like, I want as close to,
Stock.
factory new
Yeah.
as possible.
Right.
So
Uh,
if we had something that had a separated D-pad, I would be better because I somehow I don't I don't know how I don't press it right or something. I tend to get some left and right drift when I press down,
that's
and I
just
don't get
normal.
that if it's separated.
Hmm. Um, if you're playing on stock, I don't know, but I know with like some of the hyperkins and stuff,
Hmm.
somebody put a fix into one of our channels on the Discord. I think it was Doc, about cutting up hole reinforcers and putting them in the diagonal spaces so that you get a crisper difference between your down press and your side presses. Maybe you need to do a little
Hmm.
modding yourself. I don't know. It's a cheap trick to try to get something fixed, and heaven knows nobody else is going to notice. And if Bidwell complains, he literally uses a controller with Game Boy buttons. So I don't want to hear it. I don't know that he's used that in a tournament. You played with that controller before, right?
I might have. I'm not
It's
sure.
it's like butter. Those buttons are so nice. The D-pad is
Oh, good.
more rounded, and I think one of the
Hmm.
buttons is concave and the other's convex, and it's just it makes and maybe the buttons are I don't have my Game Boy out here, so I can't look. I think they're both convex instead of concave, and it just the whole feel is just so much better. Anyway, I may have to get some buttons and do it to one of mine. I know Dave did. Okay, so we're looking at your level 4 for game 2, and I mean this is a tuck situation, right? You have to, right?
Mm, maybe, or I just push down
Yeah,
and put it on 5 and then say I will get rid of the yellows later. It's I either tuck it all the way down into 6 7, or I just press down and put it on 5.
yeah. I'm looking at 6 7 and 6 5. Just because you've got the option for a horizontal, I think 6 7 is definitely the best move. But yeah, it's a toughie. I know I would go for it, but this is why I like talking to other people because it's going to be interesting to see what you go for. You go straight down, you get a double yellow right after, so it
Mm-hmm.
just clears up the whole problem. Don't you love it when things work out?
Yep. Yep.
And you know that top down style, we always talk about Floyd's play style and how it seems so basic, but it's because he just goes top down. He doesn't focus too much on fat log. He doesn't focus too much on trying to be fancy with anything, and
Yeah.
it works for him.
You don't
So
have to, yeah. You don't have to be fancy.
yeah,
I know that's, we have players that are fancy and they do very, very well, but you don't have to.
right.
And you just have to find whatever style works for you. And for Floyd, his style works for him, and
Mm-hmm.
that's fine, And for some people, it's, if you want to experiment and see if a different style works, that's fine. If you found one that works well enough, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm hoping that my style is developing into kind of an amalgam of so many other player styles because it's
Hmm.
I'm hoping to find the best in so many players, which is really all I'm doing here is forcing all of you to tell me all of your secrets so that I can get better at this game. Uh, and I'm sharing it with the world. How kind. Uh, okay. I like that tuck play out the double blues. I wouldn't have seen it that way, but it clears out the garbage so that you don't have any drop time. That is a really,
Hmm.
really nice setup. Did not see that live. So that's really cool. Yeah, this whole reds all over the place thing, though, is getting old for you.
Yeah. And now I'm just stuck in um 7 and 8, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, yeah, I think I see where you're going with this. Going to take the blue horizontally, if at all possible. And there's even a chance
I
for
think
red.
so.
Yep. And you're trying to fat log it. And I respect that. So a yellow blue is
Yep,
perfect.
there
And
it is.
there it is.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
not having to wait for that. Always a nice thing.
Yeah, that was I might have just put myself in a corner.
Yeah.
It just happened to work well. I wanted to tuck
Yellow blue.
that yellow blue into 3, and that didn't work.
Yeah, I saw that, but you got your way out of it. And honestly, this early in the
Hmm.
level, it didn't really matter. Your color, yeah, your color diversity is very solid at this point in the board. It's about to not be though, because it's about to be all reds. But at that point, it
Yeah.
really didn't matter. So yeah, it worked out. It really did. Oh, I see a fat log coming, and there it is.
And then, yep. And now it's just red, and I'm like, give me a red blitz.
Yeah,
No.
and good call with getting the blue out of the way. That because this yellow, I mean, that yellow was screaming for a horizontal. So you found the right thing, and yeah, that is very clean end game. Ooh, do you take it? Do you take it? No. Oh no. So the double red. You see the triple and six.
Oh, now I do.
Yeah,
I was seeing the little red staircase in 1, 2, and 3 and saying, I don't want that.
that's fair. Yeah, you get the triple and six, and then it's followed by a double blue, which so many options. I see all these paired blues, and I'm just like, ooh. But
Mhm.
yeah. That's just me. Again, magpie, complete and utter magpie.
Yeah. Well, and where I put it is just in case I get another double blue, then I can make a T.
I saw that. Yeah, I like that. I like that option.
Mhm.
All right, so off you go. Oh, and the double blue's covered up the next time you get one. Boo, boo game. Give the magpies what they want.
There
There's a double blue.
it is.
Like even half your face is very happy about this. Do you get it? Yeah, you get that
Oh, yeah.
tuck. There it is. Ooh, now do you see the triple? Nope. Okay. I was hoping. You will never get the magpie out of me, I'm afraid.
Let's see if I see it now.
Yeah, there it
There it
is.
is.
Very fun. Very fun. Yeah, this was a board that you really had the opportunity to just play in. Man,
Hmm.
wow, the stream cut out and it caused a
And there's
misdrop.
the split. But,
Underclear.
yep, that's one of those. How do I fix it? Oh, an underclear is fine.
Yep. And horizontal. And you've actually got the opportunity for another horizontal. I think you're going to take it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, yep.
I mean, it's just the most efficient play. And I wasn't it like yeah, it was a 7 for the first one. So this 533, that's got to feel good.
Yeah.
The mental
This
game.
was, yeah, I made some mistakes, but for me, at this point, I'm always going to make mistakes, so it's minimizing them, not necessarily playing perfectly.
I mean,
I'm
5.
also I'm a recovering perfectionist,
Mhm.
so trying to tell myself you have to play perfect is terrible.
And I mean
It is
honestly,
a terrible mindset for myself.
533
Um,
ain't bad.
you know, yeah. It's doing it and doing the best that I can is the goal.
Right. Right. I was just double checking the hot times for that level block, and yeah, 533 is a top 6 for you. So cool beans. But yeah, no, that was really a nice set of plays. All right, let's move it along. Let's get to your next game. Let's see. Dave versus Slay. Yeah, that was the next one. So we got to go through two more. And oh, there's the two more. And you're up next. All right, next match against Dave. And I think you two might have the most silver wins of all players. Maybe Ramsey's in that conversation. I don't know. I would have to look to see who has won the most silver brackets. But you, Dave, and Ramsey have been very difficult to beat in these brackets. So, what part of you is looking at Dave going, just,
Um, I mean, all of me is
yeah,
like, oh, Dave can really play spoiler.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, now I'm looking. I
so
don't know. All and against Dave. I'm curious how many times you guys have played before this. There we go. Oh, it's only 3. And yeah, you guys have split all 4 matches that you've had um, in silver brackets. You met 3 times in the semis before, or in total, and once in the finals. So yeah, I mean, you guys are generally pretty closely matched. I'd say you're definitely
mhm.
really putting it out there, especially in more recent months. Um, but yeah, you're right. Dave is somebody you can never count out. So let's see what you
Right.
guys do. I don't know how close to the 3, 2, 1 I got. And look at that look of concentration on his face. Just stolid. Okay, well, this is a gross pill for a not great board. I mean, 4, 5 just makes sense to me. Flip it around and go for
Yeah,
it.
it's flip. Yeah, it's flip press down, almost
Yeah.
guaranteed.
I mean, there's probably some other like super brilliant move, or maybe somebody says, yeah, I'm going to drop it down into 1 because there's more yellow than red and I'm more focused on the no, you just flip it and drop it.
Hmm.
Grip and rip it. And yeah, I like that play there and just getting stuff out of the way. So yeah, you've got. Interesting that you didn't put that over on 2, 3. The red, the oh, never mind.
Because I wanted that
Yep,
horizontal.
yep, you saw it better than I did. This is why I'm commentating instead of playing these days. No, I'm joking. I'm doing both. Just not doing both very well. But as ugly as this board was to start with, it definitely provided you with access to all 3, or all of the color combinations. So
Hmm.
it was really nice. Uh, you never saw a point where you were like, oh, you're not going to have use for this pill or that pill. It really did work out.
Yeah, yeah. There's the fat log.
Yep. You were.
That was like, I am taking this. Give me what I want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think yellow blue had been in the color in the seed quite a bit already. So, ooh, that got scary. Did a little
Yeah.
shuffle. Do you see it? Do you see the use for this double yellow that is ridiculous? But the magpie
Yeah, but I
wants
am
it.
not sure I'm gonna tuck it all the
No,
way over
no.
there.
That is a full
I
swim.
think I'm gonna put it in a either an 8 or somehow put it in 2 and 3 to try to get that yellow horizontal.
Yeah, I like 8. Um, I always play on
Hmm.
medium, so dropping it in 2 isn't a problem for me. But
See, I'm playing
I
on high speed, so I'm not sure, especially if I'm trying to push down as well, because I'm still not good with that timing.
oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know, and it might just like drop into 3 instead, which I don't want.
If you had even attempted it, I would have been shocked. I'm just saying, like, do you see what I see?
Yeah,
Because it's so
but
tempting
now
right
I
over there.
do.
Oh man, I'm gonna wreck your game if you keep listening to me. I should stop. But yeah, on high speed, it's a much riskier play, so I not something I would have
Mhm.
recommended. Yeah, I like 8 there just because clearing out your 8 is always a good option for you. And I appreciate the fact that you were thinking about this horizontal on the double reds. Oh man, there's so many
Oh yeah,
options. Oh, and you got the double red blitz. Wow. Do you take it? Do you take it? You do take it.
I do
Yeah.
take it.
All right. So, Okay, that's all the magpie out of the way for you. And that's partially just me as a commentator, because I'm looking for the fun plays. I'm looking for something we get to talk about. And when
Hmm.
the magpie plays come up, they're what you talk about. They're not boring. They're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Flindo's saying that if it's a long swim, he's going for it. We know. that is that is a
Yeah.
given.
We know you. We know you, Flindo.
Uh, but and part of that's something I picked up from Dave Smith, who told me once that half the time he's just looking to give the people a show. He wants to make sure they got something fun to
Hmm.
watch, and yeah, that's part of where my play style is coming from. Is just like, let's
Hmm.
have fun with it. It's a video game. Let's play. Let's play around. Let's have some fun. And
Yeah.
then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool moves are always good. Packy's right. I like that setup with the red yellow pointing that direction. Um, I really like the direction you're going with this. And there's the double yellow. Oh my
And
gosh.
there it is. Yep.
Flindo would swim from Alcatraz. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Yeah, you were definitely getting. And again, I think this may be another one of those boards where it's got a place to put every non double pill. And those boards, we
Hmm.
don't, it's harder to recognize them, but they are so valuable. Oh, I saw what you were thinking there for just a second. You were thinking about the horizontal on that yellow in 6, and you made an adjustment
Hmm.
move when you realized, oh, this isn't gonna clear that way. So I'm
Yeah.
glad the game is providing you after that, because you deserve, after making that adjustment, you deserve finding it, and you did.
Thank you. Um, yeah, this one's been pretty straightforward. It just kind of, oh, here it is. I see it. We're putting it there.
Yep, and those are the best boards. The I always say about like the first couple of levels, please don't make me be cute. Like, just because
Yeah,
I know how to do really complicated things doesn't mean I want to be doing them in 0 or in 2.
exactly.
Those are the boards that you feel good about making a smart solve, but you also feel like I've just wasted half my life trying to do this stupid move. Nice. Oh,
Here's that T.
yeah, it's
I knew
pretty.
I was going to set up that T. I knew it. That's like JDF is swims. I love setting up T's. If
Nice.
it becomes really apparent that I can make a T, I will.
I'm telling you, it's that versus. I feel like
I
that's got
think some of it is that.
a little something to do with it. Yeah, these pills are really hard to decide what to do with, but I don't dislike this garbage play. Just get something out of the way,
Mhm.
and yeah, you're gonna get another
Another
T.
T. There we go.
Set it up, make it happen. And yeah, I think there's another. Okay, you were thinking about another one. You're still gonna get it as a horizontal. Yeah. Okay. Good. I part of me wondered if you were gonna try to get that red garbage out of the way so you could use the blues, and I was like, no, no, don't do that. That's inefficient. Nice use of the
No,
of
it's
the yellow.
that double blue told me you're not going to do it that way.
Yeah, really nice drop on that yellow. Seeing through the red that you've already cleared, that you're gonna have already cleared. Love when that happens.
Mhm.
All right, Dave. Oh, of course, Dave's watching you. I'm like, Dave clearly watching the screen. Duh, he's restreaming. So of course he's watching the stream. was like, man, that was an instant reaction from Dave. Yeah, it's instant because he's restreaming it. All right. So one away from the final. He says as if he doesn't know exactly what's going to happen next.
And actually, the wall behind me, if you look,
Mm-hmm.
um, there is of the four, the second one on the left
I can see, yeah, it's
is
a doctor.
a painting of Dr. Mario.
Right.
And then actually to the left of it, I know it's a little askew, and I'm not gonna fix it because I'm moving anyway. Is actually like a schematic of Dr. Mario boards that my friends
Nice.
got me for Christmas last year, and I had it framed. Um,
Did you
yeah, the
literally,
blue with the white frame.
yeah, did you literally just look over your shoulder at it and then realize that it's still a little bit askew?
I may have,
Yeah, okay. That's what it sounded
but I
like.
know I haven't. I know, yeah, I know I haven't. But I'm at my desk, so I was like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Let me look at it.
the stuff behind
Um,
me, if my camera
but
isn't angled just right,
I haven't touched it.
yeah. In fact, I think the Team Chill logo right behind me, if I think it is actually askew on the wall because if I have the camera in the right place, it looks straight. It that was a lot of work figuring that out.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, I just hung it up, and then it's I probably like shined a laser pointer up there or something, and my cat moved it,
Oh yeah,
and now it's just gonna live that way forever.
yeah. Blame Jane for everything. Not Jane. That's my coworker's cat. Anyway, I feel like I know your cat's
Lucille.
Lucille. Yep. Like I feel like I know your cat's name. It's just not coming to me. So
If you've watched Arrested Development, you know my cat's names.
good to know. Job or Buster.
It's Michael and Lucy. It's Michael and Lucille.
Nice. Okay.
If I got a kitten, it would be Buster.
That's
I don't know
fair.
why, but I'm like,
Well, especially
yeah,
if
if I got
Lucille
a
mothers
boy
it.
kitten, it would be Buster. Yeah. Well, she bullies Michael, so it fits.
I hope you run out of names to the point where you have to get one that's a cat that just kind of a female cat that just kind of stays out of everybody's way and you just call it her. That'll be the day.
Or egg. I could call it egg.
All right. A double red on a board where you need double blues. I'm assuming 8. But
Probably.
it doesn't bring me
Um,
joy.
yeah, probably 8, maybe 4, but
Yeah.
probably 8.
I would assume 8 just because that leaves the opportunity for double blues to show up. Right.
Right.
Maybe it happens. Oh no, I like that. I like that yellow blue and the double blue showed up. Hate to see it. But, at this point your board health just got so much better by getting those blues out of the way.
Hmm.
So whatever else happens, you're just like, okay, this is better.
Hmm. Exactly.
Really nice drop time arrangement here. Love that. And yep, there's a tea coming. I smelled it in the water. There it is.
There it is.
Yep. I'm not going to say you're predictable. I'm not going to say you're not predictable.
I'm gonna say I'm predictable. I'd
I
rather be. I'd rather my gameplay be predictable.
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, it's like me with a tuck. If you see a tuck that could be the most efficient use of a pill, it's probably what I'm doing. There's another tea happening. And yep, now
Yep.
you've prepped for it.
I can't not.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the play. especially if you were to get like a red yellow. You don't, but that's cool. Yeah, that was really nice. And Dave getting a good 6. Again, though, see,
Hmm.
this is a clever 6. This isn't a fast 6. It's one where you had to be clever, and you probably filled it out
Exactly.
as quickly as you possibly could, but you're still waiting for the right pills at the end, and it just ugh.
Hmm.
It's one.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel good about what you did, but the game really screwed you over.
Yeah. It happens.
Yep, that it does. That's why this game sucks. As much as we love it, it sucks. I
Yeah,
only
I've
go ahead.
I've rarely heard of as many people who are like, "Oh yeah, I love this game. Also, this game is terrible,"
Mm-hmm.
as Dr. Mario. But it everybody understands. It's like, well, yeah, of course we like it. Of course we play it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Doesn't
existential
mean that it's
crisis.
good.
It's existential crisis, the video game. Did you really? Okay, let me pause real quick. Oh, I paused not quick enough. Let me back it up a few seconds. Did you really right here see that you were going to get the horizontal reds and the horizontal yellows in 3-4?
I knew that's what I wanted.
Wow. Because
Especially when I saw the next pill was that yellow red, and I was gonna put it to make the L because an L is just a different T.
no way
And
I
I
see
I
this.
can't I can't not do it. So it was like, okay, I have one more yellow to get, and then one more red to get, and then I drop it down.
Yeah, that is very impressive because it's seeing through two layers. Seeing through one, I can do. Seeing through two is rarely something I see happen. So, congrats. That's especially because within the next
Thank
10
you.
seconds, the reds go away, and it's impressive. It really is.
Mhm.
And you made a T out of it.
Normally I would have put that double blue on column 8, but I knew I wanted those reds out of the way as soon as possible, so that's why I put it where I did.
Nice. And of course, you're waiting for yellow blue. There it comes. And oof.
Whoops.
Yeah. I
That's okay. I
mean,
cleaned it up.
yeah. It's a pretty not too gnarly of a cleanup job, but still.
Yeah.
I think I see
But that's
undertucking.
again, that's my always like, oh, what do we have to clean?
Yeah,
How do we fix?
and I think
That's just how it always is.
I think undertucking those yellow blues could have been a more efficient play. The ones that you stacked over on column one, but
Okay.
this is really going to work out. Just because the yellow blues you could have undertucked and gotten the blue out of the way, it would have dropped the yellows down. And then you just got a clean underclear. But clean underclear
Hmm.
is my idea, not anybody else's. So I say this being fully aware that underclears are not everybody's cup of tea.
Hmm. Sometimes I do them, but if it's a tuck situation, like a real
Mm-hmm.
okay, you gotta be fast on your feet tuck situation, that's really hard for me to pull off.
Yeah, and I get that. It's again that's my play style trying to come out.
I want that tea. You can tell I'm
Oh
making that
yeah,
tea again
oh yeah.
with those blues. If I had waited one more pill, it would
I
have been
I
fine, but
yeah I saw. I felt bad for you.
it's fine. I ended up getting it anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what matters.
Yes. So I know how to beat you now. Just find a board with T's and make sure you get it. Don't know how that happens, but like inefficient T's. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for boards with inefficient T clears. Do you do
Hmm.
it? Oh, do you do it? Nope. Okay, I thought maybe you might go for a tuck here. That one. That's actually the tuck I was looking for.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Yep. I knew I was gonna do that, and even looking, I was like, oh, I could also do a horizontal, but I knew I was gonna do that tuck because it would have taken fewer pills.
Yeah. She's like, oh,
I
there might
wanted to
be a
tuck that
T.
red. I'll do it here. No, I knew I wanted to tuck that red, and I tucked it too early.
Gotcha. It just looked like you were considering maybe where's the T, which petitioning right now for that to be a an emote for you is, where's the T? Do it with a little old where's the beef lady. That'd be great. Or Kermit. Kermit's an option too, but just here for
I'd
the
be more
T.
partial to Kermit,
One that just says just
um,
here for the T.
because
Oh, yes.
um, I would be more partial to Kermit because I went to the University of Maryland, and Jim Henson is an alum
Yes, he
of the
is.
University of Maryland. We have a statue of him on campus.
Nice. Recently listened
It's
to
actually it's him and Kermit.
nice.
So,
I recently listened to the audiobook of Street Gang, the the book about the rise of Sesame Street and everything, and they tell quite a bit of his
mhm,
life story, so it's pretty cool. All right, nice clean in game. Even got some tucks in, so made me happy.
mhm.
All right, so we'll clear through Ivar taking the win off of Archer, and here we are, the main event. Okay, both of you do this with timers. You guys are killing me. Like you're both freaking practicing with timers. Do you always practice the level block you've got coming up? Like in your
Yes.
breaks?
If it's yes. Um, to some of that's to get kind of used to how it's set up again. Because if you're going, especially from like 4 to 7, and then you start playing 6, the way that those boards show up at the beginning are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a lot of it is so that I have it in my head. Okay, you know, this is how this works. This is how
Gotcha.
this starts.
Yeah, I avoid the level block I'm about to play like it's the plague. Personal choices.
Yeah.
I'll do a 20 high just to kind of get my fingers going and then avoid the level block. All right. Here it comes, 8 to 11. And you guys are again, I think of this as a fair as a fair matchup. This is one that I come in, I go, who's gonna take it? And the question's never clear. So let's see how it goes. I mean, I know how it goes, but all right, double red, 3 options. Yeah, there's not a bad choice out of the top level of reds you had there. Part of why I didn't even pause it. It's just kind of there you go. But man,
Hmm.
what a blue, what a pile of blues.
Yeah.
This is not the most pleasant.
Yeah, I placed that double yellow where I did in order to make sure I had a landing place
Mm-hmm.
for something else. Because I know that I'm not going to get all of those blues.
Oh, I
I
know what
wanted to
you were
tuck that
doing.
in.
I know. I saw it. It was a
I wanted
T.
to tuck that in.
Yeah, that one I definitely saw exactly where it happened. I was like, oh yeah, she's thinking T. I see where she's thinking T, and it's just Just didn't go where you wanted it to. But that double red
Hmm.
is a godsend.
Yeah, I was very happy to get that double red.
Yeah, and now, but man, stacked up on these two columns almost exclusively.
Hmm.
That's a rough positioning, and yeah, the
And
misdrop.
then I misflip again.
I mean, they breed. You know, that's what I always say.
That's true. But now I want to take that yellow. Oh, I want to make a fat log.
And there it is. Yeah, that really does solve all your problems, doesn't
Yeah. I was like, how do I get out of this? And I'm like, oh, somehow I make a fat log.
it? It reminds you of the concept of the dirty Tetris, you know? So high
Hmm.
up. You don't see them that high very often.
Hmm.
Whew. Wow. These are very fortuitous pills for where you are. At this point, you've been able to use everything, and that is not something you can always say in a board that looks this blue heavy, although clearly that's not about to be the
Yeah.
case.
Oh yeah. I'm just like, come on, give me some blues.
Yeah. Ooh. But, you know, at this point, you're still holding serve. You know, you're within a few viruses, and I mean, it's a tough board, but set up like that, you know, everything's looking good. Yeah, that underclear with the yellow is going to be a tough ask. Oh, okay. So you don't have to get in between. I like that.
Hmm.
And taking the lead. Oh, not yet. And still not yet. Wow, he looks like he's got so many more viruses than he does. Oh,
I wanted to put that on two.
I know you
That
did.
double red. I
I
wanted to put it on two, and I didn't get it.
Yep. And then the extra drop time was showing up, and you're yeah. I think taking this blue drop time is smart because otherwise, who knows how many virus?
Hmm.
Okay, it was just one pill. I was gonna say otherwise, who knows how many pills the game is gonna charge you with to get it done.
Yeah.
And oh, I think Ibar got something that he wasn't expecting to get, and he's chuckling over on the other side. I think I saw it as it was happening while you were in between levels.
Hmm.
All right, so yeah, the yellow's just not there for you. I hate this red dependency. It's so tough.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a heavy
And
red.
it's just that the reds are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You get rid of one, and then it breeds more.
Mm-hmm.
There are more reds, and I can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's a very heavy red dependency, and that's gonna help. Interesting set of plans. Yeah, I think you're right to abandon them though. I was wondering kind of where it was going,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is another one of those levels that again, it's like you're being clever about it, but being clever doesn't get you anywhere if the pills don't show up.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, there's still a stack on one, and it's red on red.
Yep.
So what do you do unless you get a bunch of double reds? Yeah, I mean, it's just
Right.
everywhere. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant for you.
Yeah.
There's no T clears to be had.
I know. I think that's some of it. I'm like, oh, I can't do any T clears. That's why I'm going slower.
And I respect the attempt to wait for uh, a blue yellow and then just going, know what, I'm not going to get the blue yellow. Um, So you ended up with the red garbage in column 4, whereas you wanted it to be yellow, and it just never really came up. But yeah, this has been a tough board. But at least there's a red yellow.
And thankfully, it's almost over. There it is.
Yeah. Okay. Red yellow to start. Yeah. Everything just makes sense. I was talking to Ibar about the verses and how in speed it feels like we've gotten to a point where there's a right answer and a wrong answer for just about any situation. There's maybe more than one right answer, but and certainly several wrong answers, but that is not something we see in verses. You know, it's
Yeah.
there are no right answers in verses, and it's really weird, especially after having watched him play this, and then we switched over to watch verses. It was like, oh yeah, that doesn't really that's not a wrong answer because it helps, but oh, it's so different.
Yeah. And this level's hard because I made a couple of misdrops right in a row, and it's like, well, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, this is one of those where you look up and you realize, oh, I haven't cleared a virus in like 14 pills. That's not good. And you kind
Yeah.
of go, oh, okay,
Well,
let
and
me,
right now I don't have any access to yellow either,
yeah,
so that's also really hampering me at this point.
yeah. But that I think goes back to Sarah's reminder to remember to go fast.
Remember to go fast. Yep.
You just sometimes you're just like, oh yeah, yeah, I need to be clearing out viruses. That's the whole point of the game. I forgot. I was just getting rid of my garbage. It happens.
Yeah. Well, and especially if you play versus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing. I'm like, thank you, Ibar, for saving me from this.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a level where you're just like, oh, or the whole level block was just gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and this is the first crown you've lost. He hadn't lost any yet, so it was just a matter. One of you was about to lose one, and then the question was going to be,
Yeah.
how do you come back? Can you come back? I mean,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
obviously, but how does that go? How does your brain go?
I was like, I was gonna say I've done it before and I've done it against
Mm-hmm.
Ibar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it really is a okay, shake it off.
Mm-hmm.
Go fast on this one.
And it's tough to do. It's
You
tough,
know.
and it's tough to do when
Yeah.
it's one pill, much less when it's a whole level block. All right, blue red followed by another blue red.
Um
Hmm.
I'm thinking th- my obvious choice is probably 3-4,
Yeah, that's what I'm
but I
thinking.
could also see it on 5-6, even though the red is horizontal. One of those reds is also in a vertical
Right.
as well, so I can see myself doing either way.
Yeah, and 3-4 breaks up a triple, although it's a tuck triple and would be
Ooh,
unlikely. What's that?
yeah.
It
Ugh.
yeah, it's an
Unless I get
unlikely.
rid of that blue first.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to work your way down to get it, and there are the yellows paired up on the left hand side. That is an option, but yeah,
Mhm.
I think I lean towards 5-6, but 3-4 doesn't look bad to me at all. Let's it play and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, you get a clean 3-4, and there it goes.
Oh, and it's a triple. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is at this point, this board looks incredible. And after everything you had just been through, this is exactly what you want to be seeing next. Although it's very spired.
That's a lot of drop time on this one, but
Yeah, I like that. There you go. And you've kind of got your choice. Oh, the double yellow. So you've got the yellows in 1-2 were the other ones that I was looking at.
hmm
Um, although it
the
looks like
thing is my eight was very high,
oh
and I was
yeah,
like, I really want to just take care of this.
yeah, and this is one of those where there's not a single right answer. So
hmm
I like your solutions here. Also, there's the triple at the bottom of your board on the right. It ain't happening though because
I
the
don't
double
take it.
no with the double yellows coming up, you really it doesn't make sense to take it.
Yeah. I could see that double yellow. I'm like, there's no way I would be like, oh yeah, let me wait and try to get this when I could just take the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wholeheartedly agree. And now you're hoping for a double red. I think you jumped that over
Yeah.
faster than you intended to. Although I think it's still maybe a quarter second difference. Cat, come on now.
Oh,
Um,
there's that tuck I didn't get.
okay, I was about to say that looked like a misdrop, but I'm, you know,
It was. I
interesting.
want that T though.
I see it. Yeah. It.
And I made another plan and then that didn't work
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because I did something else.
Yeah. Nash had a term for that. Uh, something plans. I don't. It's conflicting plans is what he called them.
Conflicting plans. Yeah.
It's one of those things I can always call to my brain whenever I don't need it.
But that's like me with lightning bolt and lightning rod.
Mm.
If I'm not playing, I can tell you what each of them is really easily. If I am playing, literally my brain stops working and I say lightning thing because I cannot tell in real time which one is which. I
Yay!
just can't.
Sorry, I like the play. I was hoping it was the one you were going to come up with, and you did. It was great. Yeah, you were zooming into this level. And unfortunately, I know what that means about a future level, but still. All right, this is the first play that I don't wholeheartedly agree with, and it was just because you had a red yellow. You still found a use for the yellow, but now you're dependent on a double yellow. Unless you do that, you're gonna tee it, aren't you?
Okay.
Of course you are.
Maybe. I don't actually. No.
Well, you can't.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, a tuck could have gotten
there
you
we
out of
go.
it.
I wanted to try.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite work out.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tough end game, but you worked your way through it. Ooh, it's a lot of blue, Doc.
And now just so many blues.
Good play. Good play. The tuck play into the blue yellow, that was definitely the right play. But man, everywhere you go, you're just working it down to blues. Yes, the horizontal. Okay, I was not
I
gonna
was
say
waiting. I
anything.
was like, I have to take that horizontal. Or I'm gonna be mad at myself.
Yeah, because it still leaves you a yellow to work on. Yeah, it was necessary. It was 100% necessary. But this board is just being a butt.
It's just terrible.
It really is. All right, access to reds. That's right. That's a good play. Love it. There's the horizontal. And now you're kind of at your leisure to do whatever you need to finish the board. Ooh, smart play, smart play.
Hmm. I could have done it a little bit differently and gotten the. Oh, I don't like how I'm playing in this. Why am I doing this?
Because you're going to set
Um,
the reds up horizontally.
yeah, but I could have set them up earlier and better.
Probably.
I saw it and I was like, ugh.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's okay. It was
Yeah.
still. It still came. It all came out in the wash, and that's really what matters. Yeah, I think the
Hmm.
reason you don't end up winning this is just because you didn't do enough tees. Just all there's to it.
A
Needs more
secret to
cowbell.
victory.
Yeah, cool plays are cool.
I don't like that. I didn't like why I didn't put the blue yellow on 8. It was right there.
Yeah. See, but again, this is a lot of these situations I'm looking at, and I'm like, could have done it differently, but it's not wrong. Oh, wow. Full on slide, near swim. Love it. Yeah, at this point, anything that I'm looking at that I'm like, well, it could have been done differently, I'm not thinking this was wrong. I'm thinking this is a different approach. So
Hmm.
I might disagree with not taking the tuck with that blue with the blues over on column one, and I mean that's just a misdrop. It
That
happens.
was an overtuck.
Yes, that just
That
happens.
yeah. That overtuck. I was not happy about that overtuck. And now I'm just like, okay, well, I'll take this out horizontally.
Yep. Let's get a
Get the
T.
fat or get a fat log.
Oh
There we
wow.
go. Missed that tuck.
That's okay because once you get this red out of the way, there's the red. Yeah. So once you get this red out of the way, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to getting this horizontal. I do like the hesitation there. I think putting it on top of the other red might have been the right play, but in that speed, I'm it's one of those times where you're just glad to be thinking about it. Oh, this came out really
Hmm.
close.
Yeah.
Just
It was that, to be honest, it was that yellow. Not that it's the last one there, but I was kind of overthinking how to get rid of it.
mhm.
And there's several times where I'm like, oh, I could have done this and it would have been better. So yeah, some adjustments in that game uh, potentially would have swung it the other way.
Yeah. I mean, it was close. It was definitely some closeness, but overall, that was a
Hmm.
really well played level block. So yeah, cool. And that was silver. So Um, do you want to go over verses or do you want to call it for the evening?
We can go over verses. That's fine.
I just happen to have that queued up. Let me slide it over here to where it can be seen. Make sure I've got it looking right here on my screen, and then I will share it to yours. Let me switch my window. There you are. So it's you and Dave. Let me see if full screen looks right. It does. Yay. Okay. I thought I had it set for this. So you got Dave Smith, and I think it's important to note that his sign is off at this point.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Well, the whole time before, because I know you faced Dave
hmm
in round zero, correct?
yes.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I immediately said, "Well, I really want Ook to win because I know I'm not gonna win against Dave Smith." And at least with Ook, I was like, "At least I have a chance."
Okay, that's what I wasn't seeing before. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. I'm a little concerned that it's not just immediately picking up, but okay, we're way back here. And we've got an ad. All right, TurboTax. Good for you guys. Skip.
Yeah.
It's tax season. Do your taxes. Do it without TurboTax or with it. Who gives a crap? Okay, we're not dropping frames, so it's not because of me. So, okay. Here you guys are. Oh, the sign is on at the beginning, so that's important. All right, and first pill is up. It is a double yellow. Gross.
Um,
7-8 maybe. I mean, it'll depend on the next. Let's see if I can get
seven,
to the
eight,
next pill.
maybe, or vertical on 8.
Let's see what the next
It
pill
kind
is.
of, yeah. Next pill is going to be a much better indication of probably where I'm going to put it.
Okay, I'm not sure why my YouTube is not going great. It's set on 480, which is unacceptable in my opinion. Yeah, with a blue red, I mean, there's just nothing good. And I do like this
Oh
horizontal
yeah.
because then you can go blue red
Hmm.
into 5-6 and be able to use like a blue yellow.
And still have the option for the blue yellow. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But hey, you got to drop, and that's the important thing. I mean, it wasn't a T, but what are you going to do? Oh my gosh, it's all happening so fast. And I've got a cat in my lap who's just like, okay, and there's the play we're looking for.
There it is.
It's so weird going from the pristine boards of speed to the utter chaos that is a versus
To
match.
the, yep. I oh,
Yeah, that was a toughie. That was a scary one.
it's yeah. Well, and I can tell like, oh, I really wanted this, and then like I couldn't get the controller to do what I wanted, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing that switch. There's a T.
There was a T.
Um, um. So some of this is part of the reason why I want to switch to doing controller is for my versus game.
Yeah. Do you bring
Um.
your own controller to tournaments?
Well, now I do. Now that I stole one from Bidwell. I didn't steal. He let me have it.
Okay, I gotta.
He knows that I will go through when we test, and if I find a really good one, it stays with me. And he's like, just take one.
I've got a play I
So
want to
now I
see
have
again.
my dedicated.
Okay, let's just close this window and try again. Right, cat, get off me. Okay, let's see what I can do with doing this again because it was loading way too much.
Yeah.
Nice view of my my screen. There's my history. I'm so used to watching YouTube not on not on a computer anymore. So okay, here is all right. Here's the pill in question. Actually, oh, you can't see it. I will fix that. Technical difficulties, everyone. Technical difficulties. There we are. Everybody can see now. Okay,
Oh,
so here's the pill in question. And,
oh, it's. Give me just a second.
oh, sure.
There we go. Okay.
There you are. I want it in two. And it doesn't go there, but I want it in two.
Oh my! I want it in two now. I don't know what I was doing.
I mean, you,
What?
you,
Why wouldn't I do that? Because that would have been a T into a horizontal.
yeah. You had a good setup there, and it just didn't.
Oh,
It
my
didn't come
idea.
out. But yeah, I mean, you still
Ooh.
combo it. But yeah, I saw it. And I was like, oh, I bet she didn't see this.
Nope, I did not.
But that's okay. In verses, there are no wrong answers except the ones that make you go, with a big X on the board.
I want that red.
Yeah, there
There we
was just
go.
no red.
I was trying to get a triple, and I need to be a little bit better about if there is a double that is just there, take it. Don't wait for the triple.
That's something that I discussed with versus players at the beginning of like when I first started doing this series was, at what point do you focus on getting higher level drop time and or drops, and at what point is it just like, you know what, take two doubles rather than four.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, double yellow. Wow. Again, there's not a good place for it.
Not yeah.
Five is
There are
fast.
there are three options and each of them are okay.
Yeah. I think five is fast and you just go for five unless it's a yellow red that shows up next, in which case you put it literally anywhere else. Oh. Yeah, that's a gross it's a gross pill.
Yeah.
Bitter pill, if you will. I don't know why my YouTube's acting ugly. Here, let me do like this. Yep, it worked. Go figure. Now, if we back it up, we'll see that you go straight down with it, which is exactly what I think you do. And yeah. Yeah, this all makes sense. Make the combos, make the garbage, make a T clear if you can.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is all looking real nice. Especially that. I was wondering if that's the direction you were going to take this. And
Oh yeah.
that's dirty. I mean, I like it, but that's something. Oh, you don't. That's cheeky. That's cheeky. Oh, it didn't happen. It didn't
And then I
happen.
was I was trying for another one. Again, I was trying for a I was I do tend to because I want the bigger combos like that.
Mm-hmm.
I will try them at the beginning when it is very inadvisable.
Yeah,
I am trying to get myself to not do that.
yeah. I think
Um,
right there you were pointing out this is exactly the play I was trying to make. What is it? It's three double yellows. Am I calling this? No, I'm in this bracket, so I'm not calling it. I remember seeing a couple of seeds like this where it was like double yellows or double blues like every time.
mhm.
I guess one. I,
Yeah,
I mean, six is there, tucked into two, three is there, but it's not like you can do anything with that.
yeah,
Ugh. That would be it. That's a speed play. That is not a versus play.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe you put it on seven and hope for some blues.
Maybe.
It's an
The thing
interesting
is
play.
because underneath that are the two blues that I would have to do as well. I'm thinking, oh, okay, if I need that, then I'm gonna need to get double blues,
Yeah.
or else I'm gonna have garbage on top.
I mean, I would just worry about garbage either way. So, yeah,
Well,
one just makes sense. But there was the double blue that came like a couple of pills after. Oh, well.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like that play because you're giving yourself one more red on top. Of course, now Dave is making sure you don't have that available. Adam looked like he was dabbing there for a second. He was covering up a sneeze, but he like had his arm off to the side. He looked like he was dabbing. I'd back it up, but I would lose my stream. Uh, yeah, at this point,
I wanted that red horizontally so bad.
mm-hmm, you wanted the fat log.
Well, yeah, I wanted the fat log, and I'm like, I can't.
Well, it's about to horizontal at least, and it didn't combo. I don't know if there was garbage or
Yeah.
something that it just didn't end up comboing. That's a tough situation.
Hmm.
Yeah, again,
And
oh,
now I'm just covered in
nice.
garbage.
Yeah, but nice takeout there, and got
There's
a
a
T.
T.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean at this point any combo is a good combo when you're kind of in the fight for your life pose. So,
Yeah.
if it gets you a combo and gets you further down your board, it's not anything you can complain about.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Nice triple. Nice drop. Oh, drop cross. Yep. Of course it is. I saw the drop. I didn't see that it was a cross. Oh no! You didn't get the
I
tap.
wanted to tuck that.
I could see your thumb just bashing. Still got a
And I'm
cross.
like,
Still got a T out of it.
go!
Another T. Oh, are we there? Yeah. And now you're just hoping for double red. There was the double red. Ah,
And me like shaking my head like that, it was like, oh, you took away what I wanted.
yeah. That's one of the reasons I got so
There it
frustrated for
is.
so long. Nice. I played. I think it was Swang the first time on Switch, and I was just like, I get so frustrated just playing because I can't get any setup without it just falling apart. And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating, especially if you're used to speed.
Hmm. Yeah. When somebody else's play can affect your play, that makes it harder. And that's
Hmm.
what Versus does. You don't have that in speed, but you do in Versus. Oh, I didn't like that that yellow fell down. I wanted a double red.
Yeah, and this board's been giving double reds too, so you had a shot at it. Ugh, and even that is making it more difficult. Ugh. Every time you had a chance to clear something, it's just like the garbage is coming up perfectly. Okay.
Oh, I could have.
Eh,
Oh, there we go.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There was something else I could have done, and I'm like, why am I not doing that? I'm setting it up great.
Ugh. Okay, opinion time. I want to redo the DrMC transition so that it runs faster or something. I don't know what I want to see it done with it, but like I want to be like, no, let's tweak it. Maybe I can talk Chris into that this year.
Maybe.
I
This one gives me
Yep,
combo.
nice combo, triple, quad. Ooh,
What?
didn't see the last clear.
And now those yellows are buried. Hooray.
Yep, and they're getting more buried. Oof.
Yeah.
Okay, I
I
didn't.
think at this point it's like, okay, we're gonna clear things out and then just try to go for the horizontal as much as possible.
Okay, I didn't see at what point Dave's sign shut off. I feel like that's an important turning point in the match. I laughed my butt off when he turned that on. He was sitting right next to me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what you how?" Because like we'd had breakfast. I'd sat in front of him at breakfast. I had no idea. Whew, this is nerves. This is nervous play.
Yeah.
Not you. I'm getting nervous watching
Do
you
that.
play. But
Okay.
you get a T, so
Yeah. Like, why did I do that? Oh, because I could get a T.
and you've got a lot of triples set up. So there's one, there's another setup. You're trying to avoid burning because there's a setup already. Yeah. Pack same priorities. I agree.
And then he drops it, and the one column doesn't have anything.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Is she gonna get the reds? That's the question. Perhaps. That is the answer. There. Oh, and it's a T. Look at that smug look on your face. No, it's not. It's not smug. Ooh, very clean.
Oh,
Like that.
that's what I did. Okay.
Oh man.
Well, some of it at this point, because you're like, oh, with versus, some of it is you can plan as much as you want, and then a single piece of garbage
Mhm.
will completely ruin everything.
Oh. How much film do you usually watch of yourself? Do you make sure you watch every match, or do
Uh,
you try to avoid it sometimes?
no.
Oh,
I usually avoid it. Um, I think I did watch this.
yeah.
Um, but I don't always watch myself play. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because
Well,
sometimes I do get very mad at myself
yeah.
for playing because I'll see the board a completely different way the next time I look at it. Like, I could have done this and this and this, and it would have been better. I know some of that is hindsight, but some of it, you know,
Yeah.
I I'm not sure that I have a very defined play style. So sometimes it's a little bit more combo heavy, sometimes it's a little bit more straightforward. Um,
I mean, I
you
think you
know,
defined it in one letter
get,
already
like
tonight.
small combos, things like that. So I I mean, and sniffing out teas as much as I can. That's my play style.
Hey,
But but so I'll look at a board another time and see it completely differently.
right. Yeah, I always make it a point to at least watch my matches afterwards and try to focus, but sometimes it's just you look at it and go, ugh, I know what I did wrong. It everything fell apart and it fell apart right here. So,
Yeah.
all right, well, that's everything I had prepared. If there is something else you want to put up, we got a little bit of time, or we can call it. It's really up to you.
I don't think I have anything else.
All right. Well, any sage wisdom you want to leave folks with?
Um, I mean, I know something that I do is, and I know Adelino mentioned this when he was here. He watches a lot of different people play. I
Mm-hmm.
watch as many people as I can, as often as I can. And while I also, I watch a lot of Tetris, I'm not good at Tetris, but this I am good at, and I've noticed that when I watch people and they make a move I think is good, whether or not I practice it or not, or just think of it, I'll I will do that move as well. And some
Right.
of it is, okay, does this work for me? If it does work, okay, then I'll keep doing it. If it doesn't, okay, that's a move for somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that's always my advice is to watch other people play. Um, I started watching Tetris after rolling became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I was like, "Oh wow, this goes so fast and I have no idea what they're doing." After a while, you get used to the speed, you get used to the play style, and then you can start seeing what somebody else is going to do, what you would potentially do in that situation if you move that fast. Um, and then you see if there are any differences. And
Right.
if there are, you can kind of analyze that. Um, how do I ban Flindo from your chat?
I mean, it's the way of things.
um, no, I know. Um, so you do get used to it. And I know some people are like, oh, well, somebody who's just starting out might not want to watch Hibimato. I'm like, yeah, but, that's like, one of the top people in the world.
Right.
He's not the only person who plays. You can watch everybody
Right.
and you
Right.
can ask questions. Um, some people are better at talking while they play, like Savage. And then you have me who I can't tell you what 2 plus 2 is when I play. I'm like, count to four, match colors, that's it. Find T. Done. Um, but expanding who you play with and what you watch, I think is always a way to improve. Um, or just, uh, my plan this summer is to just, play a 3-time versus champion and maybe hopefully get my first ever complete set off of him.
Hey,
And
sounds
just
good.
play him every day. I'm coming for you, Packy. Um, but I've never gotten a complete set off of him. Um, we've gotten to a decider, but I've never taken a full three. Um, so that's my goal is to constantly play someone better than I am. So if I just played my regular friends all the time, I would not get better.
Yeah.
Um, so it is watch different play styles, watch people who you want to emulate their style, or if you have no clue how they play, watch them and ask.
I
I mean,
mean,
if it's Dave Smith, he's gonna say, "Well, I just put things down and then magic happens. Um,
I think that is how it works.
or like you and Betty, who are like, let me get combos, let me be a magpie.
Hmm.
Um, or you watch Hacky or Floyd, who are I press the down button.
Yep.
Doesn't need to be elaborate. Press the down button, gets it done.
Yeah,
And then just and don't expect perfection because it doesn't happen. And that's especially if you are more of a perfectionist, like I am. I have to talk myself out of everything has to be everything has to be perfect because it's not going to be, whether it's versus or speed, but especially versus, it's not going to be perfect, and you just have to adjust.
sounds good. All right. Well, I gotta say, it's been a blast. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. And if you're not already following Larva 12, please do so. She is a great player, somebody great to know, and somebody you can definitely learn from. Larva, I'm looking forward to seeing you in. You gonna make Louisville this year?
Um,
Maybe.
I don't know. Do
Okay.
we know what weekend it is?
I don't off the top of my head, no. So, uh,
Okay, because I would have to see if it aligns with
right,
spring break
right.
from school. If
Oh,
it doesn't, I probably won't be able to make it. But I can guarantee that I will be at championships.
nice.
Whenever that is, wherever it is, I will be there. Um, and we know that that's not going to conflict either because Bidwell's going to be at the wedding. So, we're not going to have both of our live event organizers out when and Vince as well, who helps us out, is
Yeah,
also in the wedding. So we're not going to have three executive staff members not be there.
makes sense. Well, with that, I guess we're going to call it a night. Again, big thanks to Larva and, all the best coming this weekend for the tournament. And if you're watching on YouTube, whenever it was. Um, and to everybody out there watching, thank you so much for being a part of this. Till next time, as always, be good, be safe, be happy, and we will see you very soon. Have a good night.